And Happy New Year to you and the team.
Okay, good morning, Mr.
Yeah.
Fong.
Would you like to, okay, maybe let me introduce to you my team members that are on the call today. My name is Trevor. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Timeedit. This morning, we are here to introduce to you what Timeedit is doing. We recently implemented for the University of Malaya as well as University of Technology Petronas. So we wanted to share with you some of the things that we're doing for them also as well. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Timeedit for Edit. And we also have Maya on the call. She's the one who set up the meeting. She's also our sales follow-up. And Sanuza is our business representative that's on the call today. So very nice to be able to meet all of you this morning, and thank you for setting up some time to go through. Dr. Sharifa, would you like to just quickly introduce yourself and the team?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fong. My name is Dr. Sharifa. I'm the head of lupa dah I lupa my jawatan pun. Ketua Pengurusan
Yeah.
Akademik, and
Okay.
my team here. I have Associate Professor Dr. Suryani, the pengarah pembangunan akademik, and I have Nurul Nadia, our apa Nat? Your jawatan Nat?
Registrar.
Our
Registrar. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and we have our technical team here, Faida, and then seorang lagi siapa we have Hairi here, our technical
Hairi,
team,
okay.
and also Zuraiha.
Zuraiha, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Everyone can hear? Yes? Good. Okay, very good. And we do have about an hour plus to go through this. Please feel free to stop me if you have any questions, along the way. But again, thank you very much for your time. And let me just start the slides and we can go through some of the things that we wanted to discuss with you today. So very happy to be able to meet with University of Technology, Mara, this morning. We want to talk a bit about how we can actually offer some possibilities for the university for a cloud-based academic operations platform. All right. And what is the academic operations platform? Basically is in these 5 areas. And I'm sure that the registrar office, all of you will be very familiar. It's curriculum management, how you plan your course codes. It's workload management, how you plan for your teacher teaching timings. It is timetabling and scheduling. It is resource management and room booking. And of course, the last is publishing of reports and analytics. So basically how you actually make sure that you are optimizing all your school resources. So these are the 5 things that we offer to the universities as an academic operations platform. All right. We are the leader in Europe, and we have 200 over customers all around the world, and with 1 million over student users. If you can see some of the famous universities, La Trobe University in Australia. We just recently implemented for University of Malaya, as well as University of Technology Petronas, and we'll talk a bit about that later. In Singapore, we have also like Temasek Polytechnics, the Singapore University of Technology and Design, and we're speaking to many universities also as well. We actually have 1 million over students that we are actually scheduling for. All these are on the cloud. So this is not an on-premise solution. This is a cloud-based solution. So you don't actually have to worry about, oh, I need a server. I need to keep, make sure that I have the infrastructure. You don't have to worry any of this. All of this is hosted on the cloud and you actually schedule on the cloud. And we'll show you a demo of that today also as well. All right. Why do institutions and universities choose Timeedit? The reason is because we provide an end-to-end suite. That means the whole academic software. For example, we're talking to some of the leading universities in Singapore. They are focusing on student experience and they have a lot of different configurations. They need to set up the course codes, they need to monitor the teacher load time, and they also need to schedule. So all these things become very important. And because we have a whole suite and we focus on this, that's how we become very effective. We also have a customizable workflow. So whenever we do things, it would actually be customized for the University of Mara also as well. Everything is customized. And we also are able to automate across the flow. We have open API for integration. So for the IT team, this is very useful because we can actually integrate into your back-end systems, your student management systems, and your other systems, like let's say if you have digital displays and stuff like that, we can actually integrate into that. And of course, all this is on a secure cloud. A lot of the focus now is on student experience. If you see this particular slide, many of the universities are moving to where it's actually centered around better timetable for students, better room utilization, more efficient scheduling, and of course, improve allocation for students into the modules that they want to select. All right. So I'm going to pause here. Dr. Sharifa, can I just ask you, currently, how does the University of Mara actually do your scheduling? Are you using a timetabling solution or is it an in-house solution at the moment?
We using our in-house solution.
Okay, so is your in-house solution for scheduling, is it something like Excel or are you using any other
No,
software like Oracle or something like that?
we develop ourselves
Oh, you
the
develop
system.
yourself.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. So you develop your own in-house system. Okay, very good. And for your curriculum, your course codes, is it a different system or is all the same system?
We have another system for curriculum,
Okay.
also in-house.
Also in-house built also as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very capable. Very good. So maybe I'll just use some case examples so that you can understand why University of Malaya actually migrated. They also had an in-house system. University of Malaya was also using their own in-house system, and they actually contacted us about a year and a half ago, and we just recently implemented for University of Malaya. They have a total of about 30,000 enrolled students with four research clusters and 14 faculties, as well as over 70 research centers. And of course, if you've seen University of Malaya, the campus is very widespread. So one of the things they wanted to do is how can we unify all the data together and to be able to schedule for all the 14 faculties. And all the 14 faculties obviously have different requirements for scheduling, right? And to be able to accommodate for all these kind of things. So some of the challenges that they faced at the beginning was existing scheduling system does not have the functionality for automatic scheduling. So a lot of time is wasted by a lot of teams to actually prepare the timetable at the faculty level. And because the system was not in a way unified, every faculty was not able to effectively share their rooms. So for example, if they want to block a lecture room, they actually have to make a lot of calls. It's not automated. And of course, it takes a lot of time to actually organize the scheduling for all these kind of things. So that took a lot of time for them. So they wanted to see how they can actually do it much more effectively and optimally. The second one was the introduction of academic programs with a flexible curriculum structure. So they had a lot more course codes. They had a lot more offering to the student that, of course, made the scheduling of lectures become more complicated. For example, more lecturers can teach certain subjects or certain lectures can only teach a certain subject. So all these things made it a lot more complicated for them to actually schedule. The third one is the generation of exam schedules was something that they wanted to be able to provide to the students before as early as possible. And normally in the past, they can only finalize after the 12th lecture week. So they wanted to be able to do the exam scheduling far earlier and not so late into the semester. All right, so these were some of the challenges. So when we put them onto our timetable, you're actually seeing some of the timetable. We were able to have clash-free timetables without module conflicts, be able to coordinate between multiple facilities, the ease of scheduling with the correct data. Data is very important, right? So that there's no double entry of certain things. And of course, they are able to publish the data real time so that the students and the teachers can also view the schedule also as well. They were actually able to have a lot of improvement in terms of the enrollment because they are able to get all this data at a much earlier rate. So it has positively increased the impact of registrations and activation of registration records. So obviously, I think the registrar office will be interested in this. So all this actually helps to make everything a lot more optimal, and the data is real-time available to the stakeholders to be able to monitor. Now, I'm just going to stop here. I want to ask the University of Amaya's team, do you have similar challenges to what you're facing now in your scheduling tool? Do you face some of these same challenges? Or what are the challenges that you're currently facing with your scheduling? Anybody can comment on that? Dr. Sharifa or Suryani or Nadia? What are the current challenges that you're facing now with your scheduling? Or if you have any challenges that you're facing, is it similar to this?
Hello, Trevor.
Hi,
Trevor,
hi,
hi.
Suryani.
Okay. According to your presentation, I think this is for UM, right?
Yeah, So everyone has different challenges.
Yes, yes.
So
Of
I'm just
course,
asking what, yeah.
of course, we have a same challenge because we same what we call it same business education.
Right.
But then I think the UiTM is more challenges because of we have 34 campuses
Mm.
around the Malaysia, and
Mm-hmm.
actually in flexible education, we sharing the resources from across the not only across the faculties but across the campus. So
Ah, okay.
in developing or in generating a timetable is very time consuming that related so many parameters on generating timetable. So that one is the one of the big challenges on us. And then and one more thing that instead of for UM just now you presenting it's how many students there 70 sorry uh,
30,000.
20,000
Yeah.
20,000 for the undergraduate,
Yes.
but the UiTM is more than 160,000 students active for every
Very good.
semester. So and then instead of the program also we have so many programs, 500 program. So that is the challenges of us lah, to accommodate all the what we call lecturers, and then with a certain requirement. For example, some programs must start on 10 a.m. and then some program uh, apa need at end of before 6 p.m. something like that. So
Very good.
yeah.
Very good.
Mm.
Thank you for that information. I think that's very important. Uh, for example, the La Trobe University has about 100,000 students, very similar to University of Amara, and they are spread out over multiple campuses and all that. Later, I'll show you the system, and you will be able to see how a lot of time can be actually saved on your site. But thank you for the information. That's very, very useful for us. And that's why we actually develop a very flexible system to be able to accommodate a lot of this number of students, number of courses, number of teachers, number of facilities also as well. All right. UTP is also much smaller, but a good example, in terms of their students, maybe a small fraction of that, but their challenges was, I think, also very similar to what you're facing. Manual scheduling, they're very inefficient. They were using a legacy timetabling system, not Excel, but actually a system that is based on premise on the server also as well. And they had a lot of problems with this. They had also resource allocation issue because they could not share resources, very limited flexibility also as well. Like, for example, you just mentioned, I want to teach on Mondays only, but I cannot teach on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. So that also is a challenge for them also as well. Lack of accessibility. A lot of their team are working remotely, so sometimes it's very hard to actually coordinate and to actually schedule the thing in an effective way. The other problem that they also had was whenever they did the scheduling in their system, they take a long time to actually synchronize the data to the publishing site. So that itself also takes a lot of time and a lot of resources also as well. So when they were discussing with us, one of the things that they wanted us to improve, obviously, was to improve the scheduling, improve accessibility, and also maximize resource utilization. They also wanted to be very flexible. So Suryani, you mentioned that because you have so many different configurations, they wanted it to make sure that the system is very flexible, that can accommodate different faculty, different location, that kind of thing. And also the fifth one is to be able to integrate into other systems also as well. So all these things we actually managed to achieve, obviously, was better accuracy, flexibility, improved access, efficient resource use, data insight, and less admin work. We were able to save a lot of time for their scheduling now because they can actually have a better system. So later we'll show you an example of this also as well. So as you can see, we have different universities with different school sizes. And with different implementation times. Many of the universities have gone live over the last 3 years. We have been expanding significantly across the globe, specifically in Australia and New Zealand, obviously in Europe also as well. Let me just go straight into the what we offer. So the whole system is actually quite a comprehensive enterprise solution. It has curriculum management. It's able to actually manage your curriculum. All this can be independent. That you don't have to actually get this module in order to get the rest. All right. We have workload planning where you can actually plan for your teachers. This one quite important because sometimes you have, let's say, a lot of your lecturers or your part-time lecturers can only teach certain amount of hours or something like that. Workload management becomes a very important tool to plan their workload planning also as well. And then the heart of the system, you actually have a few components. You have core, which is basically the core scheduling engine. You have auto scheduling, you have exam. We can also schedule exams also as well and have exam management tool. We have preferences, which is a way to actually collect the data from the various stakeholders. And of course, we have allocate where we can actually allocate the students into their timetable. This means that the students can actually have a personalized timetable exactly like the courses that they choose. All right. So they only see the courses that they choose. We also have a reserve tool that allows even students and staff to actually book resources. So for example, as a staff, I can maybe, let's say, one day before, the lecture rooms or the teaching room is open, available for certain people to book. They can actually book the room on an ad hoc basis, depending on the rules that you set from the administration level. So this is also possible on reserve. The fourth one is actually the student portal. They can actually view the schedule. They can get publication of study guide. They can actually register into classes also as well. That's very useful. And we are also planning for a journey planner. That means as an integrated study planner for the students also as well. And of course, the last is reporting and also student evaluation also as well. All right. So there are three stakeholders that we always interact with. The first stakeholder is, of course, the student, really one of the most important stakeholders, where we actually have dedicated interfaces for the student. They can view their personalized schedule. They can also feedback also as well. We can also tell the students, please bring your certain textbook, or please be prepared for your lecture that's coming up. And these are the things that you need to bring also as well. So all these things can be integrated as part of the timetable that we can deploy for them. They can also, of course, put this onto their iCal, their iPhone, their Android. They can view it, and it is real time. If you make any changes onto your timetabling, the students get to see the timetable changes immediately real time. The second core group is the expert users, which are the timetablers, which is your team, Suryani and Sharifa. So these are the ones that actually do the scheduling, do the planning, do the course planning of how many lectures, how many practicals you want to have. And the last one is basically dedicated interface towards the staff. So the staff are your lecturers, right? Or some of the other people that are interested to see the schedule, like your room maintenance or faculty management team. They can actually also make certain requests also as well. So here you actually have the three different stakeholders that can actually use the system independently of each other. That's how flexible the system is that's able to provide. Now, the main thing about this slide, and don't worry about copying any of these things, we will actually send you the slides so you can actually review some of these functionalities. I'm not going to go through all the slides because of time. From curriculum management, you can see it's a whole workflow, right? To workload management into timetabling data collection. What is timetabling data collection? This is when you actually collect from your faculty what are the modules you want to teach this semester, how many lectures you want to have, how many practicals, what kind of requirements do you need for the practicals, that kind of thing. So all this timetabling data collection, we can actually automate it to make your job a lot easier. And all this information can be then put into the timetabling engine for you to schedule, right? So instead of actually calling your department and then putting into Excel sheet, then later the Excel sheet you have to bring into the system and then do the scheduling, everything can be actually automated onto one system where you're collecting the timetabling data, and that timetabling data is then scheduled manually or automatically on the system. All right. And then, of course, once you're scheduled, you can actually review the draft. You can send it to your various stakeholders to check. And then after that, once it's checked, you can actually publish. But even after publishing, you can make changes. It's a real-time kind of timetable. At the same time, you're able to also generate reports and study and evaluation also as well. So this gives you a very good idea of the system. And one of the key things is that it's always updated across one database. You're not having multiple database. We have one cloud database that will manage all this information, so you can pull up any of this information anytime. The other good thing about this is that when you do the timetabling, you do it across multiple years. You can actually keep your data across multiple years. You don't have to do it over one particular time. All right. So I'm going to stop here. This is just a general introduction, and I will actually send you this slide deck so you have a bit more information. I want to do a very quick demo for you so that you can actually get a chance to see the system. Of course, this is not going to be a full demo. The purpose of today's call is to just give you an idea of what Timeedit does, what's our capability in a very broad sense. And if you're interested, then we can actually maybe collect some data from you, and then we can actually show you how the system can actually work for you. All right. I just want to go to this particular slide, and then I'll actually show you, start showing you the systems. Does anyone have any questions at this particular moment? Are we good? Yes, Dr. Sharifa?
Your scheduling is generating daily or weekly basis?
Anyone. It can be daily, it can be weekly, it can be hourly also as well. All right. It's a very powerful system that can be scheduled. So I tell you what, good question. Any other questions that you have before I show you the system?
Uh, you said just now is one database. Is it
Yes,
since you are using cloud, right? Just now.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
We're using cloud, so you don't have to worry about the management of the data. All you need to and you don't have to worry about the management of the system. We manage the system for you, really. So all you need to do is actually focus on the scheduling itself, right? Which is actually the scheduling, and of course, making sure that all your stakeholders are actually submitting in the timetabling data and all the rest of the information. Maybe what will help is
Trevor, what
yes, Suryani. Yep.
I have one question.
Yes.
When you generating the table, is
Mm-hmm.
there any setting or something like setting a set? There is a gap between one slot to another slot. You
Yes.
know, slot and because of,
Yes.
for example, one different building, uh, block A and a block B, and then the distance of even though it's a walking distance, for example, the lecture need a time for one slot to another. So is there any setting gap between before you generating the table?
Yes, we call that in the timetabling term called padding. So it's
Padding.
called time padding. So that allows you to actually automatically, let me tell the system, I need 1 hour of traveling time between, let's say, faculties. So when you
Mm-hmm.
actually do the scheduling, it will actually put the padding in between those lessons. Definitely possible, also as well. Yeah. So very good question. So maybe I'll show you the system. So once I start to show you the system, you will have a much better idea of what I'm talking about. And then you can ask me more questions on top of that. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is not a full demo because we won't have time to cover everything, but it'll give you a good sense of how the whole thing works. Now, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay, you can see the screen. So what you're actually seeing, if you can actually see the screen now, is basically uh, TE core. Now we're actually entering into TE core. Now it looks very busy, but don't worry about it. Let me explain to you what you're seeing. One of the cool things that you're actually seeing, first of all, is actually web-based, right? So as long as you have a laptop or a desktop and you have internet connection, you can access the data and you can actually access the timetable. You can actually be in on the beach on your laptop, as long as your internet connection, you can actually do your scheduling and check your course records and stuff like that. That's how powerful the system is. So as long as you actually have internet access, we actually allow you into the system. Now, because it's cloud-based, we also can tie in with your single sign-on. So if your university already has a certain sign-on, we can actually go through that portal and then they actually enter into the system and we can have different system administrator rights. All right. Now, if you look to the left, you actually see that you can actually have different views of this. Everything that you see here on this board is customizable. You can actually create different type of views for your scheduling. Now, so this is very useful. Why? For example, this one that I'm clicking is actually called Recurring Weeks Semester 1 for 2024 to 2025 reservation list. Now you can call it anything. You can put semester 2, you can put semester 3. Some of the universities have tri-semester also as well. So what this helps you with is that you don't have to worry about the whole calendar. You can just zero in on that particular semester and then do your scheduling. All right. So all these things can be customized. It can be customized for exams where you're only scheduling for exams. It can be customized where you have different views if you have different departments and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to go through all, but just I give you a sense of how flexible this whole thing can be when it comes to setting up the thing. And as you can see, wait, let me just go to this one here, recurring weeks. You can actually set the calendar. You can customize this calendar. Now, of course, when we actually set up the system for the university, everything is customized for the University of Omara, so that it is in a way become like a bespoke system for you, right? It's like customized exactly like how you want to look like. So in all our universities that we implement, everybody's dashboard is different. It looks different because they have different faculty, different module costs and everything. So as you can see, we can actually set the calendar date from 2022 all the way to, let's say, even 2050 also as well. So all this is possible, for us to set, depending on how far you want to do that, because it's a continuous calendar. You can filter, you can put the color type, you can actually do timetabling drafts. In case you are afraid, I'm not ready to publish the timetable yet, you can actually create timetabling draft. And then of course you have your reservation information. So I'm just gonna close this first, this view, and then show you the system. Now, what you see here is an inverted calendar, meaning it will not show you information until you press the course. When you press the course, then it will show you anything that is related to that module and anything that has a conflict. Later, we'll actually give you a better idea of this. Now, on the right, you actually see the reservation list, okay? Now, as you see, I start to select the reservation list and I start to select one of the things. Now, all of a sudden, you actually see the calendar being populated with bookings. Because the system is a smart system, it will not show you all the bookings. It will only show you bookings that is related to what you're interested in seeing, all right? And anything that is conflict with that module. So for example, this module is MID 1001. Okay, you can see here, MID 1001, right? Why are the rest being shown? So these are different courses, right? MID 03 and all this. The reason why it's being shown is because they might have some conflict, because there might be a same teacher that's teaching there, or they're using the same room. So the system helps you to worry about the conflict control, and later we'll actually give you a bit more detail onto that. Now, I want to go through a bit more things into here. So let's say I'm going to click this one here, which is this, and I want to actually start to see the reservation, right? Each reservation, each booking or each reservation is considered a reservation. So the system is very sophisticated. Each reservation is actually given a certain reservation code, so it can always track. So it actually has the system has a archive and log. It tracks all your movements. So if, let's say, Suryani, you do one booking, and Dr. Sharifah, you're doing another booking, it tracks your booking. You can do it simultaneously, but it actually is able to actually track who moved the reservation to what and who did what, right? The system is able to actually archive and track. So you can actually see from the history, I've been making a lot of changes. And I can actually reverse the changes also as well. So let's say I didn't like this particular movement, I can actually reverse my action to a specific time that I wanted the booking to be, moving at. So this system is very powerful, that it actually recognizes each reservation as a reservation bucket, and you can do a lot of magic within that. All right, so that's the reservation. Now I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to close this so it doesn't create any distraction. So as you can see, this whole view is very flexible. You can create many different variations of this according to what you're scheduling. All right. The first thing I want to orientate you is the right and below here. If you can see, this is our reservation modes. You can have different reservation modes for the system, and we set this all up for you. And that, in a way, it's bespoke, right? So for example, I only want to block rooms. So this reservation booking, don't show me about teachers. It don't show me anything else. It's just for room blocking. So for example, if I block the room MDK1, all right, then if I try to schedule a class over it and there's a conflict, then it will actually tell me I can't book it because someone has blocked the room. So I can actually do room blocking. I can do even lecturer blocking also as well. So for example, Dr. Sharifah, if you're lecturing for, say, Monday and you want to block out your time, we can actually use the system to block out your time. And if people try to schedule you in other lessons, the system will say, no, there's a conflict because you're only available on certain days. So this system can actually set up for room blocking, ad hoc room blocking. It can even be set up for exam scheduling also as well. Because exams, you're also going to use the same lecturers or part-time lecturers, and you also be using the same buildings to actually administer the exam also as well. But for the purpose of today, I'm just going to go to the room. and just start from here so that it won't be so confused with too many views. I want to orientate you with the calendar. You can actually see now the calendar is from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, I'm going to show you different views, but this view is basically showing you a week. Now, you can add Saturday, you can add Sunday. It's really up to you. Everything is customizable. What you see on the top is a range of weeks. So, as I told you, this view is actually a view for semester 1 for 2024-2025. And you can actually see at the bottom here, I can select the weeks that I want to schedule. So I can actually say, look, I only want to schedule for 14 weeks, even though the semester is 15 weeks, but the 25th of November is a school holiday. So I don't need to schedule any classes for that. So all I need to do is just highlight the weeks that I want to schedule and see, and then the system actually just shows me the number of weeks. All right. Now I'm just going to go through each of this so that you understand a bit of what's happening. So you have your reservation mode here. You have your weeks that you actually select what are the weeks that you want to actually schedule for. On the left here is the time, right? So you can actually set different time slots. You can have more granular time slots also as well. 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10. But here we just put 8, 9, 10, 11 because they don't really schedule for half an hour breaks, right? But it is up to you. We can customize it for even different faculties also as well. So right now we look at the first object. We call these objects. And the first faculty is M. Okay, so what is M? So let's see what is M. M is the Faculty of Medicine. So we can create all these fields for the university. And these fields actually will synchronize with your curriculum management tool or your student management tool where you have all these data. So you don't have to re-enter the data, again. So for example, we put the course code 1, the facility code M. The full name is Faculty of Medicine. Short name, we put medicine. You can put location code. You can put user-defined fields, other fields that you want. And here we actually create relations. Now, relations is very important. Relations help us to connect the faculty for certain things. Like, for example, I want to conduct certain exams there, or I can only conduct certain subjects in this under this faculty or something like that. This is where we actually create relations. Organizations is where we actually connect organizations to this. So for example, this is the Faculty of Medicine, and it also is part of the integration that we're integrating into other systems. So this is an example of the faculty. So we can actually see here, we have all the different faculties. You can add as many faculties as you want. There's no limit to the number of faculties you can add. And you can actually customize each of these data fields that is there also as well. So that you have faculty. Now, why am I going through all this with you is because all this becomes very important when we actually do the scheduling, because it actually manages your conflict control. So here you have faculty. Next one is the module. Module, you can actually see in the module, you can have different module codes. You can have level, module type, department code. You can even have weightage for your continual assessment. Exam duration, you can also put all these kind of things there. Student learning time, final exam, diet, all these things you can actually customize, and you can add these fields also as well to actually put all these information as part of your object. Okay, for module. You can have module offering also as well. What's module offering? Module offering is, for example, this particular module is part of this module offering for semester 1 in 2024 for level 1, that kind of thing. So even these details you can also have. You can also have the coordinator ID, which is your staff also as well. That can be integrated into the system. Then you have your activities, like for example, you can have your different activities like exam, lab, tutorials. All these things can be easily set. You can even set lecture days also as well. For example, the reason why this is blocked off, for example, if I try to move this booking to Tuesday, it cannot move because I'm told the system this lecture for MID 1001, which is actually what's this MID 001? This is actually the module on basic medical science. Basic medical science cannot be scheduled on Tuesday. So if you can see, there's no way I can actually move the booking to other days. You know, it doesn't allow me. So that's how the system actually manages the thing. We set the rules for it. I can also say, look, I want it to be scheduled on Monday to Friday instead. So all of a sudden now you actually start to see, oh, look, I can actually clear up all the schedules. I can actually schedule the room on Monday to Friday also as well. So this is up to us to set. You can actually set a lot of these different constraints so that you can actually schedule effectively for yourself. Okay. The other important thing is rooms also as well, right? Because we need to use the rooms. One reservation booking has the module, has the room, has the staff that's actually teaching, all these kind of things. So you have all the data for the room, like the location, the zone, the building, the floor. Why this is important? This is how you can actually share your room resources. So for example, once you have this in the system, if I book this room, MDK1, then I cannot be requesting for this if it's on a Monday and it falls on this particular lesson. So this is how the system actually starts to manage your resources, right? I can also include student groups also as well. Student groups are groups of students that are attached to, let's say, a particular semester, a particular module. Now, every university or every polytechnic that we work with is different also as well. You can create your own student groupings also as well. This is important if you want to have an individual timetable for your students. And then you have lecturers, which of course is very important because you're able to schedule your teachers into the module itself. So for example, this lady is Lai Lili, and she's actually based on this location in this faculty, and her job title is this. And she is related to these two subjects. So for example, if I ever select MID 2015, only Dr. Laili is shown because that's what she's related to. So the system helps you to handle the allocation of the teachers also as well. In this particular booking, you can actually see there are two lecturers that are there. So you can actually put jointly taught activities also as well. You can actually add different lecturers. You can have one lecturer, you can have three lecturers, you can have a part-time lecturer. All this is possible on the system. Now, you can add a lot more other fields to the thing, but I wouldn't want to complicate today's explanation. But you can actually see, just as a recap, on one booking, you actually have a lot of information inside. Okay, let's open up one of the things. So here you have 8 reservations over 14 weeks. Okay, for the module of MID 1001 with this offering and with this student group with these lectures on this hour. Okay, so let's see how the constraint management works. So if I take this booking and I try to move it over a lesson, let's say here, it will say, look, the time is occupied because the two following objects are already booked. The lecturer, both lecturers are being used. So here in this case is 012994. You actually can see these two lecturers are being used on this particular day. So let's say I try to move it on this particular slot. Then they tell me, the system says 4 objects are already booked. Lecturers, your student group is also booked, and your venue is also booked. MDK1 is also being utilized. So it's very easy to actually then schedule because whatever white space that I have is space that I can actually do the booking on. And so I can just move the booking anytime that I want. I can increase the time slot on this. Let's say if I want it for 2 hours or I want it for 1 hour, or I can add additional booking as long as there's a slot available also as well. Here I've actually immediately booked 14 reservations of this particular course that has no conflict also as well. We can add padding also as well to this. Let's say if I try to move it across other weeks, it's not possible, all right? Because there's no available time because I already set the setting for this. Now, I'm just showing you a very small glimpse of the system. We can add a lot more different type of constraints to this. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split the height. And at the bottom, you can actually see a weekly schedule. On the top, you can actually see a consolidation of weeks. On the bottom, you can actually see a weekly schedule. So I'm just going to scroll to October here. So actually, you can actually see these are individual bookings of MID 1001. All right. So let's say if for 1 week, let's say on the second week, I want to make an adjustment to this. Okay, see on the top, you can actually see all the lessons are scheduled from this particular time at 2 o'clock. It will end at a certain time, right? End at 3 o'clock. But let's say on this second week, I want to make a change to that class. I can easily do that on this weekly schedule. I just bring it down. All right. So you can actually see on the top now, I have 7 lessons scheduled for this from the 2 o'clock slot, and I have 1 lesson scheduled on the 3 o'clock slot. And there's no conflict. I don't have to worry that there's someone going to take up my meeting room or something like that. Or I can just bring it back whenever I want. So the system is very flexible to allow you to do all these adjustments on a weekly basis, or you can actually do it on a group of weeks basis, and you can actually set different settings. So for example, I only want to schedule for 4 weeks. All right, you can do that, and it's the same. It just works over this. Now, as I mentioned, this is a cloud-based scheduling. If you schedule for the faculty of, right now we're actually scheduling the faculty of medicine, it will also take up the resource. If let's say the faculty of engineering want to book the same lecture room, they cannot, because it is a unified timetable with the same database. It will recognize that the resource has been booked. So whether you're using, let's say you change your faculty, so let's say I'm now the faculty of law or something like that, then you will not be able to book if you're using the same room, because it tracks all these objects very carefully. Yep.
Let's say that happened, right? At the
Yep.
same slot, which is different faculties.
Yeah.
Do you have a option to combining or joining one slot more than one faculties?
Yes, you can do that. You can actually combine faculties together to actually add. So for example, I've added 2 faculties to be able to use that. Very easily done. I can actually even share rooms also as well. So let's say sometimes we have general purpose rooms, right? So I want general purpose room, general purpose 2 room to be used. You can easily add the rooms, to the booking also as well. And the system will be able to manage the conflict control. So as you can see,
is there any indication of the capacities of the room?
yes, you can also indicate that also as well. So for example, you see, once I added in MDK10, all of a sudden you see different thing being shown to me, because now the system is saying, oh, okay, now you have 2 rooms that you're using. I need to show you any room that is being used by MDK10 and to show you if there's a conflict to that. So the system is able to track that. Now you asked me about the capacity. Definitely you can also track by capacity. So for example, here we have the room MDK1 is on the floor 4. You can set different capacity. You can set number maximum seats, number maximum rows, even exam capacity you can set, which is a different thing, right? So because exam sitting, sometimes you can have different. Even for COVID, or let's say if you have certain things where it's a certain situation, you can have different capacity settings. You can also do that. Now, all this actually can be set in this, and all these are very important, because you can actually tell the system, can you look for me for rooms that are 50 and above? Then it will just show you the rooms that's available 50 and above. The system is very flexible to be able to do all these kind of things, as long as you have the data inside there. Good questions. Yeah. Any other questions?
Should I read the inbox? Someone has asked your questions.
Okay, can you read it out to me, because I don't have that screen open?
Okay, a question from the Encik Muhammad Hairi. Can you set the system display as the time is horizontal roll and the days is the vertical columns?
Yes, you can do that. Easily do that. So I just flipped it, from here. So here you have Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then of course you have all these kind of things there. Now again, you can actually see how flexible is this. We will customize the dashboard that is very similar to what you have. So for example, if you have certain semester code that you want to call it, or certain week that you call it week 01C or something like that, we can actually customize the calendar, how you actually we can see that. Yeah, it's all customizable.
How about the setting of the weekend?
Yes, you can do that. You can easily change. Yeah, you can
Because
easily
we have a
change.
different weekend, right? In Kedah, we have Saturday and Friday and Saturday, and we are in here in Selangor we have a weekend adalah on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes,
So can you do
you
that?
yes, definitely you can do that. You can increase the number of teaching days. Like, okay, for example, you see here, this is the same database, right? But on this one, you can actually see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday also as well. So you can have many different views that is set up according to your different stakeholders. And there's no conflict, all on the same system. So here you see, actually, this is the same system, but I have Saturday and Sunday that I can actually schedule some stuff on there, right? But for some other things, I don't have. I only have Monday to Friday, that's being shown here so as well. So the system is very flexible. You can have some views, because let's say your certain faculty is I'm only interested in Saturday and Sunday, you can easily set it up. So for example, you can set up different reservation modes like room booking, right? Room booking, I only just want to see room booking, as well. I can show you a different setup that I have here.
So different.
Yeah.
For example, two users, right? The admin user from
Yeah.
first come from Kedah, and then another one come from Selangor. So yeah, they set up different weekends. So
Yes.
from the Kedah, for example, we want to set up a schedule on on Friday. So supposed to be it is indication that okay, this is a weekend. Can you do that?
Yes, we can. So you can actually set up blocking for this. So for example, you do not want to schedule on or schedule on Saturday and Sunday. You are able to do that. So you can actually see all these default views. You can easily add in new views for that. And you can actually put one view for Kedah, one view for another location. You can easily do that. But it's the same system. So everything is all in harmony together. Yeah, so it definitely is possible. Yes. All right. So you can actually see here, this is a different client. I'm using a different test example. You can see that all the setting is a bit different, right? The way that they have configured this, here they configured the semester mode from this, and then they put a blockout timing. So you can actually block out timing from 11 to 1 o'clock because they want to have lunch or something like that there also as well. All right. And then you can actually see they have different, this one different. They have staff blocking, right? So they can actually block staff timing here also as well. So you can actually block staff that they are not available for certain time slots or stuff like this. So the system is very, very customizable according to your university requirements. In this customer, you can actually see that they are using classroom booking, right? So they have different way of actually putting their class code. So here is their year 2, semester 1, and then they have different class group that is attached to that. So that's a different way of do that. They actually have different things where they can actually manually. So actually what you see here are students. These are student names. They can actually manually fit the students into the classes also as well. So the students can actually see their class. Why I'm showing you all this, not to confuse you, but just to show you that the system can be set up according to what you want to do. You can block out certain times. You can actually, you can see here, there's a flexibility of booking half an hour. I can even book by minute, by 15-minute slot also as well. I can book 4-hour slots also as well. All these things can be actually set up when we actually do the implementation for the university. But I think it's enough today to just show you, how flexible the system is to be able to actually set up different things for you. Now, the other thing I want to show you very quickly is that the students don't see this, all right? This is your back end, your administration portal, right? This is where you have your schedulers, your registrar office, and your IT people having access, because this is your main system. What everybody else sees is basically, for example, the timetable, all right? So for example, our timetable is very flexible because it is able to search by different things. So because we have all this data inside the system, right? We have room, we have faculty, we have lecture and stuff like that. It makes it very, very flexible to actually search by different things. So for example, I can search by module, right? So for example, I want to see the schedule for basic medical science only, all right? I don't care about the rest. I can just show the schedule for basic medical science. I don't need to see the rest of the thing. Or for example, I want to see, let's say the whole faculty. Now, if I put the whole faculty, obviously it is going to be a lot more information, right? So let's say I choose the faculty of medicine and I show the schedule. It's going to be very busy because now this system is showing the whole schedule for the faculty of medicine, right? Which most probably I don't need to see all the schedule, but I'm just showing you that it can actually go into very granular details. Like for example, I give you a more a simplified way. On Monday, right? So we can actually show by row. You can actually see all your schedule for Monday for the faculty of medicine at one go. You can actually put the number of students, you can put the lecture activity, the lecturer that is involved, the number of students that's involved, the module name, the module code. All these things can be customized. They can be that. You can also show reservation information also as well. You can also add in, make changes also as well on the fly, so that you can actually set different things. Like you can, for example, this is one easy way to actually swap lecturers. You don't actually have to go to the system. You can actually go to the publishing site and then swap the lecturer also as well, if you give permission to do this. So the system actually has a lot of ability to do a lot of different types of searches and all these kind of things. I can also search by, let's say I don't search by faculty, I search by lecturer. So this is a very good way to actually search for lecturers. Let's say I just choose a few, and I want to see their schedule. So the lecturers can also have access to this system because this system is secure. They are not able to make changes because this is the publishing site. So let's say I show their schedule. I can actually start to see the schedule for, let's say, Ganing bin Lingkang, right? So you can actually see, oh, I'm teaching on Monday, Wednesday, and stuff like this. That's only related to him, that kind of thing. And I can also calculate by the number of hours also as well, right? So I can also, let's say, have different reports. Now, these reports are very, very good. So for example, staff hour report, right? I can actually choose, let's say, certain lecturers, and I need to find out how many hours they've been teaching. After I scheduled them, then I can actually check how many hours I've scheduled them. So this system actually can calculate for you the number of hours they spend teaching. So for example, those teachers that are selected, the total number of hours they've taught is 224. Obviously, you can also search by teachers also as well. So there's a lot of things you can actually do with the system. You can search by rooms also as well. You can actually search for room availability. Let's say I choose this one here. I can actually show the schedule of the room. This is just only rooms with maximum seat of 75. So this is one very easy way of, let's say I want to know which auditorium is available for the 10th of October that has more than 50 number of seats. The system is able to actually show you very quickly all this kind of data without having to go and check your systems and stuff like that. So once you have all the data here, all these things are actually reflected there. Immediately when you change a reservation, this is reflected. So it's real time. It's not you have to upload the thing and everything else like this. Once you actually upload any changes or make any changes to, let's say, the module here on the system, immediately is reflected on the publishing side. So if a timetabler makes the changes, let's say last minute change of class and lecturer, if the students log on to the portal, they immediately get to see the new class and the lecturer also as well, right? So just I hope that gives you a very good overview. Today is not meant to be a full demo. We will always follow up with a bit more demo once you actually give us a bit more information. Like let's say if you can provide us your timetable and some of the unique requirements that you have, then we will show you specifically how the system can work for you. But today is just meant to give you a rough general idea of how the system works. Any questions up to now? I hope that was useful for you to see how the system can work. Any questions from the team?
Thank you, Fong, for the very useful presentation. And of course, we very appreciate what you're sharing just now, and a very good that suitable to education sector. Thank you again, Fong.
Most welcome.
Mhm.
The other thing I wanted to show you is that you can see this slide, right? So our system, of course, doesn't work alone. It's able to work with your other systems. So let's say if you have already developed some in-house systems, we can develop an integration pipeline so that we can draw the information from there. So you don't have to do double work also as well. So for example, if you have a student management system that has all your staff data, we can actually integrate into your system so that we can pull all your staff data there. Everything we try to automate so you don't have to actually do it manually, that kind of thing. So so our system is able to actually integrate with your curriculum management system, your building management system. Some of the universities, we work with them, can even switch off the aircon. Let's say because we have the building schedule, right? If the class end, we tell the system 1 hour after the class end, please switch off the aircon. If it's a centralized aircon system, we can actually integrate into your building management system also as well. Even for digital signages, for online teaching, we can actually put it into the course, into the scheduling also as well. So the system can actually do a lot of these things for the university. This is the slide I wanted to show you. And then I'll stop here at this particular slide. So normally what happens, what I've done actually for the demo is actually I've shown you core and viewer. But I haven't shown you a lot of the other features. Even for core and viewer, I've only shown you just a bit of what the system can do. But the system can also do things like auto scheduling, where you tell the system, right? The system is smart enough. So you say, I want to schedule so many modules, so many classes, because you have, let's say, 1,000 over students, 100,000 over students, right? So I'm assuming they have a lot of faculties. So some of the faculties might want to actually do auto scheduling, meaning what? I set in all the parameters. I tell it, this class can only book on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then schedule that. So the scheduling will think of the best way to do it, and then it will auto schedule for you, right? So that's also another ability of the system. But normally we do this at a later phase with the client because there's a lot of different data management that's required. There's also exam that I didn't talk about, the allocation, the reserve things, and of course, curriculum and planning. So today I just actually talk about core and viewer, but there are many things to actually talk about. Normally, as a progression from today, if the University of Maria is interested, what we will normally do is that we will do some information collecting. For example, if you can give us some of your timetables and some of your unique scheduling requirements. Okay, so for example, tell me all your scheduling challenges that you have now, and tell me like all your unique timetabling requirements that you have. Okay, these are the two things. The third one is basically tell me what you want to have. All right. Then in the next session, what we will do is that we will do a bit more focused demo where we actually show you specifically on what you're asking. So for example, you ask me, Trevor, can you schedule Monday and Wednesday only? Then we show you how I can just schedule Monday and Wednesday. I want to schedule different faculty, want to see different thing. Okay, then we just show you how it's done. So it's a more targeted workshop session that we can actually do. But you need to, of course, give us a bit more information, and we'll be happy to do that. Yeah. So thank you so much, Suryani and Sharifa. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, thank you, Trevor, and then your team, Susanna and also Amaya. So I think that we have here in UiTM is very similar into your demo just now, and of course on developing the system is need to be maintenance all the requirement they time to time, right? So And then for example, on our requirement that need to be done is there is a pair. For example, one module, you call it a module, us is course.
Right.
So let's say we need to have 2 hours of lecture and then 2 hours of lab for every module. So how you indicate that check and balance whether the requirement of the courses on a timetable is met, something like that lah. Okay. Thank you again, Trevor, for your sharing session. It's very useful to us and also a team here. Any from Dr. Sharifah? You want to add something? Because we are now is a different place,
We are in different room and different building now.
different building.
Okay, I think it's a very useful sharing. And then actually our team we told you just now that we are developing our own in-house timetabling that we are actually I think the automatic things that we are not able to do it. I mean, just now if we want to have automatic scheduling, that means our committee team for timetabling for every single campus have to give their parameters. I mean,
Yes.
that's I think we already done this before, if I'm not mistaken. We have done this before, but we failed to do that because as our students is big, our lecturer also many location, many campuses, many faculties. So I think our trial before is about the automatic scheduling is not successful.
Understand.
Yes, yes, true, Trevor. Because of on automatic scheduling, we need to some sort like running randomly, right? Randomly
Yes.
find out the space themselves checking. So some sort like AI decision making.
Yes.
So and then the system have a very time consuming. For example, more than 24 hours to generating one timetable. So let it be. So we proceed on a
Manual.
yeah
Semi.
semi auto.
Okay. Okay.
So
So actually, it's not easy. What you have encountered is a lot of other universities encountered also as well. It's not easy to auto schedule because even though the system is thinking for you, but the more constraints you give it, the more complicated it becomes, right? So
yeah.
so that's why there's always a problem. And then sometimes the data that you're collecting is also not correct also as well. That's why that's very important. Data, I mean, is what? That means when your course coordinator, they send the data, it's normally not accurate, then the scheduling become very, very messy. So that's what we've encountered before also as
Yeah,
well.
agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
And then also the collaborative teaching involved in UiTM between the course of campuses. So the space of the physically is not, if not very, it's not correct, it's difficult to us.
Understand.
So
Yep. So
actually,
yeah.
our scheduling system also integrate with other system in university. So just like you showed just now, that is connected to the HR, to the room. So we have that also. So
Yeah.
we already our system is already connected with the existing system. So
You build your system on Oracle, or what platform do you build your timetabling system on?
okay, Hairi.
Quite impressive, I must say. Yeah.
Hairi tunjuk kat dalam muka tu.
Tunjuklah. This is my our team yang buat timetabling tu.
Okay.
I think we use coefficient kan.
Okay.
Coefficient.
Maybe in the next session, if you don't
Hmm.
mind, if you can show us a bit about how your system actually operates, then we can actually tell you how we can actually improve, the scheduling. I think that would be quite useful for us. If you can show us a bit about how you've actually configured your system, then we can understand where your limitations are, your challenges are, and we can show you what are the possibilities if you were to consider something like enterprise time edit solution. Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I see that if we want to have automation, that means our timetabling committee has to be intelligent enough. I mean, so that that is not happen in UiTM because the one I'm not saying that the committee is not intelligent. Means
Understand.
because the committee is not is a lecturer that have other things to do.
Digital competency.
Yeah. So I think if you look at your demo just now, I think we need somebody that well versed in the skill technologically mesti skill tinggi lah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
understand.
that is become constraint lah to our part.
Okay, understand. So maybe let's
Mm.
take it one step. If you can just share with us a bit of your timetabling requirements. If you can just give me a sample timetable and maybe some of your timetabling challenges, then maybe we can organize a follow-up so that we can show you how the system, because I think it can actually optimize and save a lot more time on your side, which is what I think you want, right? To be able to utilize your resources more effectively and then release the load on your schedulers also as well. Yeah.
If you can reveal how much we have to spend, probably we can think of it for the next step.
Okay, we can do that for the next session. We can prepare some of the data for that also as well to give you an indication. But it's very much like a software as a service model. You charge by the full-time equivalent student, right? So depending on the modules that you have, just like Microsoft Office, right? We charge by student.
Number of students.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So, but of course, we give a discount here based on that and what are the modules you are actually using, for that. Yeah.
How about the storage of the cloud?
That one's all on us. You don't maintain, we store. So basically, yours is on-premise now, right? Your current timetabling solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to maintain any of your servers or whatever. We actually do the maintenance. We do the backup of your timetabling data also as well. So all this is done on our site. We actually undertake those tasks on our end.
Is it your cloud? Is it approved by the government?
Yes.
Is the for one means I think for providers only kind.
Yes, we're using on Google Cloud and it's
see.
located, yeah. So that is definitely past your government regulations because University of Malaya also has the same requirements.
You have a
as well.
customer from and also the
Yeah.
I think it's not possible.
Definitely compliant, and also our security is definitely even higher than most other timetabling solutions because in Singapore is very stringent because we follow the GovTech ruling. So even like a security patch, we even do VAPT, penetration testing every year also as well for the system. So the system is actually secured on our side. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have the teaser for the price?
No, I'll send it to you because normally we will have to walk through some of the details with you on that. But it's normally it ranges from about Malaysia 20 ringgit per student, to about 30, depending on on the number of modules that you choose.
That one
You
is
know,
a per year.
per year. Yeah,
Oh,
it's an
okay.
annual charge. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for on that information so that we can think of our team will think of whether to have the next stage of our meeting.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for the session. I think it's very useful sharing actually. So and also that we think also we have facing the same problem.
Yes. Yeah. And I think your problem is even greater because you got larger number of students actually.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
larger
you have
number
larger
of
number of students, you have larger problems. That's why I think that we can actually save a lot more time actually. So the money that you spend on the software actually saves time in terms of your IT infrastructure, your scheduling, everybody's time is actually saved. So it is the cost actually saves you more when you actually calculate all the time spent actually in developing the scheduling and stuff like that. So that's where we hope to be able to do that kind of report for you, analysis for you. There is a significant cost savings when it comes to this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before
So
we end the session,
yeah.
there was one concern that we did not address from Puan Sharifah. She said technology might be quite advanced and it might be hard for them to use. So we did not mention to her that we actually provide workshops and training.
Yeah. So throughout that's a good point. Throughout the implementation, we have workshops and training. So all the users are actually onboarded into the system, and of course we have documentation and things like that. What I'm showing you, normally the timetable don't need to see everything, right? Because they only go into what they need to schedule, right? So oftentimes it's not so complicated. Oh, I got so many views. We don't make it complicated for them. It's just that I'm showing you that the system can be so flexible. You can configure, that kind of thing. But to the faculty, we can make it very simple. They just go in, they see the semester, and then, they start to schedule. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right.
Very good. So if we were to follow up, is it Dr. Sharifah is with you, right? We will send an email to you with the slides as well as the thing, and then we will continue to follow up with you and the team. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
today.
Paul. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Sharifah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye.
Maya.
Thank you.
Bye.